solutions and start working together among yourselves. Today, I'm extremely excited because we have, as I said before, a very international group of partners that we're going to be presenting. At the beginning, as we did last time, we're going to have someone from IOV Labs, in this case, Adrián, our RSK gardener, presenting some news that can be very relevant for all the partners. Then we're going to have Diego Masini, our head of research and innovation, that works with Sergio every day, and he's going to be presenting some exciting technologies that are coming soon that you may all be aware, because they can really improve the user experience of your solutions. And then we're going to have Tyler from Decent, which is an amazing hardware wallet from Korea. Then we're going to have Guillermo from Extrimian, who's going to be presenting what the RSK enterprise team is doing and how other projects working in open finance can also make their solutions available to be licensed or commercialized or made available to RSK enterprise solutions. So this could open an additional revenue stream for all your products. So I think it's also very interesting. And finally, we're going to have Ed and Yago from Sovryn, which is one of the most exciting projects about to be launched on RSK. And also, it's going to be very interesting for all of you to see what DeFi for Bitcoin is bringing to the table very soon. And as I said before, towards the end, we're going to have this surprise new technology that was launched today or announced today by Money on Chain. And at the end, after we close, we're going to stay in the line for a couple of minutes. So if you have questions or you want to talk to each other, have like kind of virtual networking space, we can have it at the end as well. We'll try to be very fast and the presentations and have smooth transitions so we can keep the whole update for 1 hour. And if you want to share this with someone from your community or someone that might find it interesting, we're going to have a video made public of this presentation afterwards. So I don't know, Max, if you have anything else to say. Otherwise, we can pass it to the first speaker. Max Deloyo, are you there? If not, we can go straight to Adrián.
Hi everyone. Thanks, Gabriel, for the introduction. I think Max is not here today, so let me start with the presentation. So I will basically share a brief update on the most relevant things we are doing for RSK and for RIF. And of course, I won't have enough time to mention everything we are doing, so I will focus on the things that are happening mostly in the short term for RSK and RIF technologies, and on those I find most interesting for the audience here to know and to hopefully get involved. That's something that's very, very relevant for us. So from the RSK side, there are two big projects I want to update you on. First of all is the upcoming RSK network upgrade that is called IRIS. So briefly speaking, this upgrade brings new opcodes and new precompiled contracts for the RSK virtual machine. Especially breaching the small gap we have regarding compatibility with Ethereum, at least at the virtual machine level, and important improvements to the two-way PEG protocol that will make it more secure and will make its usage much more user-friendly. But there's other stuff that we hope to get included into this network upgrade. There is no defined activation block number for IRIS yet. However, we expect that to happen during Q1 next year. What we basically, or what we need from you, from the RSK community, is that you get involved and bring any proposal you may have or any comments you have for this upgrade, so we can have a community discussion around the improvement proposals that are accepted for this upgrade. So you can see there on the slide the links or the link to the Meta RSK IP for Iris. There you will find links to the improvements that are being considered. So feel free to add your comments and questions, and there is a deadline for this happening on December 20, so we can start defining and closing the scope for Iris. Okay. So the other big project is what we call POPEG. POPEG, we've been talking about it a little bit. It's a new two-way PEG system that protects private keys in special purpose hardware devices or HSMs. So in a nutshell, these HSMs run an RSK SPV node, and they will only sign transactions if there is enough proof of work accumulated. So it makes it much more secure and allows for a significant higher amount of Bitcoins to be stored in the two-way PEG. This is something we've been working for some months, and also with very useful help from Adrián Eidelman and his team. And we've been running a few of these proof of work HSM for some time now, and we are now ready to roll it out to the rest of the signatories. So it's a really exciting news for us. But we will be announcing this publicly very soon and sharing more details. But one of the things I wanted to mention here today is that we yesterday made the POPEG node source code public. So it's already available in RSK's GitHub repository, so that anybody can go and review the code and see how it works and make comments and everything. And very soon, I think this is happening today, we will have it also included into our bug bounty program running on HackerOne. So good opportunity for security experts and hackers out there to check this out. And last but not least for RSK, there are new mining pools like Antpool, BTC.com, Binance Pool that have recently joined RSK doing merge mining and making RSK network more secure. And currently RSK hashing power is between 50 and 60% of Bitcoin's hash rate, and we are also very happy about that. So going to RIF, next slide please, Fran. So from the RIF side, there are also a lot of interesting things going on. On the previous ecosystem call, Allen Arancio talked about RIF identity, which is a solution for sovereign decentralized identities. Basically, the goal of decentralized identities is that the user can create and control its credentials without the need of requiring authorization from centralized authorities. And the RIF team has already made available an MVP for this, for creating identities. We have the links here on the slide also. And they are planning to have our login ready by January, and it will make it very easy to integrate RIF identity into websites. So we hopefully will have an update on this on the next meeting, but also it's really cool technology that's being released very, very soon. For RIF storage, the news is that the pinning service will be launched on testnet next week. And this will also include a RIF marketplace integration. And the goal of pinning is that you can be sure that the assets you store will remain permanent in the storage you acquire. And through the marketplace, anyone will be able to offer its storage as a service, and of course anyone will be able to acquire that storage services, paying with RBTC or RIF, at least for this stage in testnet. Hopefully we'll have other tokens supported in the near future. And so starting next week, it will be a great opportunity to test this RIF service on testnet before it becomes available on mainnet next year, probably. And finally, for RIF, a quick note on RIF gateways and RIF Lumino. I'm sure we will have more news on this in the next meeting, but the teams are working on releasing the data triggers on January again. That will allow to trigger notifications from events that happen in the blockchain. So that's really cool. And the new RIF communication layer integration for RIF Lumino, for our payment service, also will be ready early next year, and basically moving away from Matrix protocol, which is kind of centralized, to a Lib P2P implementation. So that's very briefly exciting news for RIF. And next, Fran, please. And finally, and probably this is the most important thing I wanted to share today. We are moving all our technical discussions to public channels we've recently set up. So we've recently created an open Slack that you are, of course, all welcome to join there for any technical discussion about RSK RIF and Turinga technologies. And the IOB Labs research team has set up an open forum for discussions more specifically about protocols and RSK IPs. And so please, if you want to get involved, these are the spaces you need to be in. And also you can find the link to the Back Bounty program for RSKJ, for the new POPEC node and everything. And I think that's it. So thank you very much, and happy to answer questions later.
Thank you so much, Adrian.
Is it possible to ask just some couple of quick questions now during the presentation, or do we want to not do that?
Yeah, so the idea is that we keep the time frame very tight, so we can close it in an hour. So if anyone has questions, you can send them on the chat, as I said before, or we're gonna have like a networking chat at the end once the event is done. So it was. If you have any particular questions, please send them in the chat in the meantime. So thanks, Adrian. Very exciting to see all this innovation happening on RSK and RIF, and also the discussions becoming open to the whole community in this channel. Thanks, Fran, for sending the links. So we can move to the next slide now. And we have Diego Masini from our innovation team with some exciting news as well.
Hello. Thanks, Gabi. Thanks, everyone, for inviting me to this update. I would like to talk about RIF enveloping. It's a solution we were working with the research team. Fran, next slide. Thank you. So the problem we wanted to solve is allow users to pay for gas in tokens. Essentially, that's the main issue we want to tackle with this solution. And the obvious idea, Fran, next slide, please. It's to find someone that is willing to pay for the gas instead of the user, and in exchange, this provider can get tokens from the user. We are assuming that the user doesn't have RBTC, but it has some tokens. Next slide. So essentially, the user can sign a message along with the promise of payment, send that to this sponsor, and then the sponsor can submit this message to the blockchain network. Next slide, Fran. So what we need to ensure is that the sponsor will eventually send the transaction to the blockchain, but we also need to ensure, next slide, Fran, to ensure that the sponsor will get paid. So essentially, that's the flow of the solution, and our obvious choice for that is the gas station network. Next slide, Fran. But the gas station network has some problems that we would like to avoid. First, the contracts needs to be adapted to be compatible with gas station network. That's because the way it is designed. And the solution is not that cost effective for users. There are a lot of interactions internally in gas station network, including Uniswap, that increases the cost in gas for the solution. Next slide, Fran. So what we like to do, or we have as a goal when we started working on enveloping, was to solve these problems. And for the first one, the idea is to allow users to have an address that is under the same control as a private key that, from the externally owned account the user has. And that will eliminate the need of modifying existing smart contracts to work with enveloping. We call this address the smart wallet. It's actually a counterfactual smart contract. It's not created until it is really needed, but we can use its address as it exists. And for the second problem, we eliminate, or we are still working on that, but we did a pretty good job eliminating unnecessary contract interactions and optimizing the functions of the contracts that are left in the solution. Fran, next slide, please. So essentially, enveloping provides users with these addresses I mentioned before that can be generated off-chain and can be used without the need of deploying these smart contracts. For instance, a user is able to receive tokens without having this contract deployed. And only when the user wants to interact with these tokens, for instance, to make a transfer or to approve an allowance, then the contract is deployed. The deployment is also handled internally through the enveloping system. So the user finds a sponsor that deploys the contract for him or her, and it pays for that deployment in tokens. The smart wallet is designed in a way that ensures that the sponsor will get paid no matter what. The user cannot interrupt the payment. And as soon as the user gets RBTC in one of his accounts, he can escape the system. He can opt out of the system and start using RBTC to pay for transactions in a regular way. Next slide, Fran, please. So what are the benefits of this solution? Essentially, it improves a lot user onboarding. A user can receive tokens and then can interact with the blockchain and with any DeFi solution without worrying about gas. It doesn't require existing contracts to be modified, as I mentioned before. It's more cost efficient than GSN. We are actually, at the moment, working on a new improvement that will reduce more the cost of the gas. And it also enables a new revenue stream for providers. These sponsors can charge, if they decide to do it, a little fee for the users that are using this system. And also they can subsidize the entire solution for the user, the entire protocol, if they want to onboard new users quickly. So as every one of you probably know, the code is what guides everything. So if you want to take a look at the code, it's in GitHub. It's a public repository. The entire suite of contracts is deployed on testnet. We are testing a relay server, which actually is the sponsor, and doing some integrations with the help of Horacio from Cubistry and Fernando. We are including a new component that will allow users to send transactions in the future. Just say, I want this transaction to happen X minutes in the future, whenever the gas is more cheap, to save on cost. And then this new component will ensure that the transaction will happen. As Adrián mentioned, I forgot to put the link to the Slack channel, but I have the link to this course. If you can join the discussion and help us find new use case or new features that this solution should have, please let us know. And that's it from me.
Thank you so much, Diego. I know this is something that the community has been expecting for a long time. It's very exciting to see it happening so soon. So When can we expect this to be ready for our partners to be integrated? Do we have an estimation?
They can start integrating in testnet right now. We have the README of the project as the main documentation right now. We are working on a more complete documentation that will be published soon. But the code is operative. You can start integrating. We also have a conversation with the Bixo team. I don't know if Ezequiel is in this meeting, and they are interested in start. If there are other members of this community that wants to integrate, just let us know, and we can try to assist you or explain anything you need.
And Diego, just also this also creates an opportunity for liquidity providers, no? Those who want to serve the system and be paying for the fees for the gas and receiving the payment in tokens. Is that correct? That creates an extra business for the ecosystem?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And one thing that we are not doing that reduces the cost a lot, GSN automatically uses Uniswap to swap the tokens to pay for the gas. We are not doing that, so the provider accumulates tokens, and the provider can decide what to do with those tokens. We are trying to think some alternatives that are attractive to keep those tokens locked until needed for paying for the gas.
Perfect. But also we now have RSK swap, so eventually it could be also integrated with RSK swap. Well, very exciting. This is the kind of interactions that we're looking for. Thank you so much, Diego, and looking forward to see all our partners integrating this. That will basically change the user experience in all our platforms. So thank you so much.
Just one little comment, Gaku, sorry. I saw the message from Damian. Yeah, we were also talking with the Defiant to integrate this solution, and I hope that we can move forward with that. That's
perfect. Yes, this is extremely important to onboard new users and to foster mass adoption, to get the gas complexity away from early users especially. So thank you so much to the whole innovation team and the RIF team working on this. And now we can go to our first community speaker, Tyler from Descent.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to speak tonight. It's nighttime today. For me in Korea. My name is Tyler from a company trust. Let me just give you a brief background information about our company. We are a traditional IT company, and we have over 20 years of experience in developing embedded security software and hardware solutions, which are based on the secure element and the secure OS. So basically, when we created our hardware wallet, we combined the isolation technology from these two pillars, and we also combined and added multiple countermeasures that you would find from security certifications, such as like Visa, Masters, and common criteria. So in short, our hardware wallet is very secure. Okay, next slide. So currently we have 3 different hardware wallets available. On the left, this is our flagship device, which has the built-in biometric sensor and Bluetooth modem inside. So this is a device that you would work with your mobile phone rather than the PC for most of the time. The thing about this hardware wallet is that this was the very first hardware wallet that offers the biometric authentication, and I believe we were one of the first hardware wallets to actually support rootstock chain. Is that right, Gabriel? And okay, so in the middle,
yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay, great. In the middle, we have the card type hardware wallet. This one also has the same secure element that you will find in the biometric wallet as well. This one works by NFC communication. So you would basically tag against the back of your phone when you want to sign your transactions to, when you perform the send transactions. Last one on the right, we have the app wallet. which is a software version of the wallet. So you don't really need the hardware wallets to actually use it. Currently, the app wallet, we introduced it as like a more of a pilot project to get new users to start using the wallet before they purchase the hardware wallets. Also, we added various different features which would allow users to actually not only about just receiving and sending crypto, but actually getting access to different dApp services. Next page. This is one of the recent integrations that we have done. This is a RIF name service. So this is basically a feature that you would use to make a payment easy by using the domain name rather than the hexadecimal address. So, from our perspective, name service is actually a very interesting use case because we could actually extend the functionality to, maybe support the self-sovereign identity. So, which means that, we would basically in the future, access social media or social network platforms using our wallets. So this is something that we would like to continue to work with the RIF identity team in the future. Next slide, please. Okay, so another feature is the dApp browser. We could find the dApp browser in the discovery menu. So basically, we have different chains that are supported, and each chain will be categorized in the future because like right now our partner lists are kind of crowded. And basically, what dApp browser is it's like just like any regular browser, but it also offers the functionality to connect your wallet account to the dApp directly. So you will be logging on with your wallet address to a service. So if you look at on the right side, I just kind of visited the Sovryn dApp just to show you as an example. We're not integrated yet, but later in the future, if you visit the site will actually ask you back whether you want to connect to the service using your account. Okay, next slide. Right now, we have already integrated with various partners. Obviously, we have decentralized exchanges, game platforms, DeFi platforms, and many others. Next slide, please. So there are actually two different ways to integrate our wallet to your service. The first one is the integration in the PC environment. Just to give you an explanation of the structure, if we look at on the left side, we have the web application, which will be integrated with the SDK that you see on the bottom, and in the middle is a bridge service that a user would actually install on their PC. This bridge service is a program that we have created and it's already available. So this would allow the browser on your PC to communicate with the hardware wallet. Okay, so there are links to the SDKs here. First one is the standard SDK we have. If your dApp service is already supporting the Web3 interface, I would suggest using the one on the bottom that says Wrapped SDK. This would actually make the integration very, very simple. Next slide, please. Okay. The second one is the mobile integration. We already have the. We are going to introduce the support for the RSK very soon. So in perspective of the dApp provider, all you would have to do is add a Descent wallet button as a connection, and you just have to check for the accessibility using the window.ethereum is Descent wallet. You set this as a true. So if you see on the middle here, we have RSK, Ethereum, Clayton, and then we have the Tron networks. So we are going to support all these different chains in the future. Next slide, please. So before I leave, thank you for tonight. As a representative of Descent Wallet, I would like to welcome any partnership with the RSK ecosystem partners. So if you're interested, just drop me an email, and we could just kind of figure out from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tyler, for your presentation. I'm a big fan of everything that you guys have been building over the years. Also, before we started the call, Tyler also offered help to any of the RSK partners willing to open markets or contact anyone in Korea. Having them there, being one of the most important projects in Korea, it's also an asset for the whole ecosystem. And the same thing applies to you, Tyler. If you want to expand your business in Latin America or the rest of the world, you can also count on us. Probably interesting to put you in touch with the crypto market team to see if they can facilitate the acquisition of the physical cards or hardware wallet here in Latin America. So thank you so much for your presentation. And with this, we can pass to our next star speaker, Guillermo Villanueva.
Hello, everyone. I am going to talk about the RSK Enterprise Cloud and also Extrimian. Next slide, Francisco, please. First, let me tell you what exactly is RSK Enterprise Cloud and Extrimian. On one hand, RSK Enterprise Cloud is an IoV initiative to address the needs in the enterprise segment. The main goal is to position not only IoV, but also the entire ecosystem in that segment, leveraging the knowledge and solutions that you already created to serve other segments. On the other hand, Extrimian is a platform as a service business focused on facilitate the adoption of blockchain technologies and solutions in the enterprise space. You can imagine Extrimian as a kind of Infura plus Kaleido, since they are our direct competitors. The two main differences we have is first, we have a multi-cloud approach able to host our platform not only in our private cloud, but also on the private tenants owned by the customers, which highly favor the decentralization. Second, the ecosystem is not the fancy complement of our solution, but a core component of our value proposition. While Extrimian will be focused on things like provisioning and operation of the technology and the solutions, we want to integrate as many third-party solutions as we can to our offering to increase the total value of that offering. Next, Francisco, please. So, why is this important for you? IoV and Extrimian will be working together, executing many sales and marketing initiatives to penetrate the enterprise segment. But it's important to mention that this is not going to benefit only Extrimian and IoV, but also the entire ecosystem as well, since your solution or our aspiration is that your solution will be integrated to our platform. Therefore, will be automatically available to our enterprise customers, but also to our sales force all around the world. Just to give you an example, we just closed a strong partnership agreement with Microsoft, and our platform will be integrated to the Azure Marketplace, but it will also integrate it to the sales and billing platform of Microsoft. So any third-party solution integrated to our ad platform will be automatically available to be commercialized through the Microsoft Salesforce all around the world. Next, Fran. Let me talk about some special initiatives that we are currently working on. On those segments that we identified as a high potential segments, we will be running a specific go-to-market actions in order to position IOV and the ecosystem as a major player on those fields. The first two initiatives that we are working on are the CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currencies, and digital government. The digital government is mainly based on the, at least at the beginning, is mainly based on the RIF identity components and platform that was mentioned previously in this presentation. Then, as I mentioned, the goal is to reuse the knowledge and the solutions that you already created. Therefore, we are going to be working actively with you in order to integrate your solutions to our value proposition in order to increase the value of the total value of our offering. Next, Fran. Let me talk a little bit about one of these specific initiatives. We just launched the CBDC Global Research Center 2 weeks ago. In the event, we had more than 80 people from 21 countries. And this is just the first action with it. We will be actively working on the next month in order to position our vision and value proposition to the market at global scale. And again, since our vision is to position an open solution able to integrate all the technology and the solution that already exists on the ecosystems, this will provide you the opportunity to work together with institutions all around the world to provide them the technologies and the solution that you already have to facilitate them to address the challenges that they have in this new scenario, which in our view will be open a huge opportunity for the entire RSK ecosystem. So this is all I want to say. So we can open to questions.
Thank you so much, Guille. As we said, we'll keep the questions for the end, but make sure everyone gets Guillermo's email and contact information, or you can follow up with me or with Max. As Guillermo was saying, this is, we believe, a win-win opportunity. We are offering through RSK Enterprise, central banks and corporations the possibility of building blockchain solutions customized the way they feel comfortable with. But what we're telling them is that they need to make sure that everything is built on open source technology, so there are no vendor lock-ins in the future. They do not keep separated from the global innovation that is happening. And also that the technological infrastructure layer, it's important, but probably the most important thing is the innovative ecosystem of solutions that your CBDC will attract. right? And this is where we are trying to position everyone in the RSK ecosystem as a potential solution provider also for these enterprise solutions. And for the ecosystem, this is an additional revenue stream, completely optional, in case you want to participate, and hopefully will help accelerate the break-even and the revenue streams for all of you guys, not only serving the open finance ecosystem, but also being able to license or make your solutions available to central banks or enterprise solutions through this Microsoft partnership that Guillermo mentioned. So this is also a very good example of the kind of synergies that we want to promote between all of you. So thank you very much, Guille, and the whole team of Extrimian and RSK Enterprise.
Thank you.
And now we can go to our last speaker before the surprise from Money Unchained. So Edan, are you there?
Hi, yes.
It's yours.
Great, awesome. Do you guys mind if I share my screen?
These slides are not the ones that are we seeing?
No, I'm going to, if you don't mind, share my screen.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Go ahead.
Great. All right, so I've been working with a growing community of people on Sovryn. Sovryn is, I think you might be aware, it is a decentralized financial layer focused on lending and trading for RSK, with a focus on Bitcoiners, so that people can use Bitcoin layer 2 in order to do all of the things that they want to do with their Bitcoin, right? Lend, trade their Bitcoin, earn yield on their Bitcoin, but without having to use a centralized service. So I want to walk you through the system, and then I'll tell you guys a little bit about some things that we've been building, which I think are valuable for the entire ecosystem. So on the trading side, right now we have the primary components of the system is the swap system. This allows you to swap Bitcoin for DOC and soon additional tokens as well. So you can choose any token that is in the system. Right now it's only Bitcoin and DOC, but we'll be adding BPRO. We'll be adding basically any token that you guys have an interest in. You can let us know, and we will add it. We'll be adding USDT. We'll be adding SOV. And so any asset can be swapped for any other asset. This is an AMM, similar in some ways to RSK Swap, but it has several key differentiators. One, it is based on an oracle. So it rebalances every single block to keep slippage low, to keep the possibility for impermanent loss low, and to reduce the costs of the transactions. In addition to that, if you go to liquidity, you can act as a market maker. You don't need to introduce both tokens. Whichever token you have, you can introduce, and the system is able to rebalance even if it receives asymmetrical funding to one side of the pair. With that AMM, we also allow leverage trading, so you can take leverage positions up to 5x. And this is done by borrowing from our lending pool and then using those funds to trade on the swap. And you can track all of your transactions over the course of this type of activity, and you can go both long and short. And so what's interesting is if you only have Bitcoin, but you want to get more Bitcoin, if you're like me and you don't have any dollars to buy the Bitcoin with, you can actually lever up your existing Bitcoin, so that you're basically buying more Bitcoin with your Bitcoin. We also have lending and borrowing, where you can both choose to lend your funds and earn interest, or to borrow funds, and this is in an over-collateralized way, in order to do whatever you want. Most of the time, that's going to probably be for market making or leverage trades. So those are the primary functions that we have built into Sovryn. We're also building a bunch of things to make it as easy as possible for users to use, and a lot of these tools are available, to any application. One of them is FastBTC. With FastBTC, we basically allow anyone from any Bitcoin wallet to send their funds to this address that you see here, or this address that you see here. And within one Bitcoin transaction, those funds will be converted to RBTC. We are working in integrating this deeply into our system. So basically, when your balance goes to zero, for example, on the trading page or near zero, we will give you a pop-up and allow you to move your funds directly into your RSK wallet. We are happy to work with other teams to get this integrated into their dApps as well, and basically make moving from Bitcoin to RSK as seamless as possible. In addition to that, I'm gonna show you guys now. If we connect to wallet, you'll see that we've integrated a number of wallets. We've been working closely with the IOV team to introduce the ability to use your mobile phone. So if you click on mobile, you can now get a QR code. If you scan that QR code, you can now link your wallet to the application and perform all of the funding and confirmations through your mobile wallet. So it becomes sort of like two-factor authentication. We will also be adding the same thing with hardware wallets. So having a direct link to Ledger and Trezor wallets, and then potentially other types of wallets as well. So for example, Decent, this is something we'd like to do with you guys. And we've also integrated Portus wallet. Are going to be looking to integrate Maths and Edge wallet, and are looking to integrate as many wallets as possible. One final thing that we have built out is we are building out an API-based way to connect to nodes and get database-based information. We're building this out for our own purposes, but we plan to open it up. So if you need backup nodes, if you need to be able to have a quick and easy way to get sort of a database version which is easily parsable of the activity on the blockchain, that is something that we plan to be offering very, very soon as well. And so we plan on continuing to build out a number of features which will make the ecosystem easier and more attractive to use, and make them available to everyone.
Thank you so much, Eden. If anyone has any questions for any of the speakers, feel free to share them in the chat. I think with this we can, finalize the update right on time, 5 minutes before the hour. And as I said before, we're gonna stay here in the line, and the speakers will stay for those of you who want to open your mics and do questions directly. But before we finish, I would like to introduce Max Carjuzaa from the Money on Chain team. We have them presenting their open source oracles last update. We all know what Money on Chain has been doing with their first ever stablecoin with collateral in Bitcoin. And as all of that would not be enough, today the team is announcing another new innovative feature. So Max, can you please share it with us?
Hello, thank you for the introduction, Gaku. I'm trying to present my screen. Is that possible?
Yes, sure. Fran, can you let Max share?
Let me.
There we go.
Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Well, today we are opening our TEX, our token exchange on the RSK network to the public. This exchange is not the typical AMM on chain. It is an exchange inspired in the London fix, this mechanism to set the price of gold in a fair way. So the idea is that the execution of the orders is not instant. The execution of the orders occurs only in the ticks, and the ticks are delayed in the time. The frequency on the ticks depends on the amount of order in the system. So this ensures that this exchange cannot be front-run, and this ensures a very fair price discovery process, even with low token volume. Well, the other thing that I want to tell you is that I want to present, like last meeting, the performance of the BPRO. The BPRO yielded more than 15% in the last year. As you know, the BPRO is a token that allow us to create the dollar and chain for people to use. The other interesting that I want to tell you about the
Max, just to clarify, this is 15% on top of Bitcoin.
Yes, this is 15% on top of Bitcoin, of course. And really soon we are launching the liquidity mining. So you are going to earn MOC token holding your BPRO. The MOC token is the governance token of the mining chain platform, the stablecoin, the oracles, and the token exchange. One very interesting thing about the token exchange is that it has two types of orders. It has limit orders and market maker orders, but this limit orders doesn't work like the typical limit order. For example, if you enter an order that you want to buy 100, you want to buy one RBTC at $10,000, your order will execute at that price or a better price. And the other very interesting thing that we have is these market maker orders. Here you can put the amount of, for example, dollar on chain that you want to spend buying the RBTC, and a price difference. In this second field, you enter a price difference. For example, if I enter here -1, that means that I always buy RBTC only at fair price, but with 1% of discount. So for example, if the price of Bitcoin is $100, I will buy at $99 or better. And the price of my order will be updating automatically, and the price is filled from our oracles. So this is not the typical exchange. This is something different, and we think that it's very interesting for the RSK ecosystem.
Thank you so much, Max. This is super exciting. Probably we will do an in-depth webinar at some point, or a specific presentation, but given that the announcement was made public today and we had this gathering with all of you, we didn't want to leave the opportunity to present this to all of you, so you can play around, get feedback, and explore whether it makes sense to integrate in your dApps. I'm super excited about everything that these amazing projects are building on top of RSK. And as you all know, the main purpose and reason for IOV Labs is to help you be successful. So feel free to contact Max Delosho, Fran, myself, and everyone you talk generally in IOV Labs, and let us know how we can help you be more successful, expand into new markets, integrate with new partners. If you want to touch base with anyone of the other partners on the RSK ecosystem, please let us know. The sum of the parts altogether are worth much more than the individuals components. So let's work together and hopefully make this revolution a reality. You know, we're trying to change the world here. We're trying to bring financial services to billions of users that are currently excluded. And these tools that you guys are building are the key, along with the security that the Bitcoin miners and the Bitcoin ecosystem is providing us through RSK, to make this a dream come true. So Thanks everyone for participating today in this RSK ecosystem update. Many thanks to all our partners, the ones presenting today, and all the rest that will be presenting in future occasions. Let us know if you have any solution or any innovation that you would like to share with the rest of the ecosystem. This space is for you guys, and we're just trying to help you be very successful. So now with this, we officially close the RSK update, and now those of you who need to leave can go, and if anyone has any question or want to make a comment, feel free to open the mics, and let's do like a more informal, in-family conversation if you want.